What's super scoring on the SAT and ACT? That's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. My name is Kristina. I'm the owner and founder of Ivy Lounge Test Prep. And for the past 15 years, I've been helping high schoolers all around the globe dramatically raise their SAT and ACT test scores and ultimately land acceptance into their dream colleges. So let's get started, shall we? So first thing, if you're in high school right now, probably the only thing you have ever heard of is super scoring. But your parents, and I'm aging myself here, but me as well, it wasn't a thing like when we took the SAT or ACT back in our day. So if you're a parent, you might not know what this is. So please watch the video. If you are a student, you're going to learn all about it, including how this works, even with the new format of the ACT. I will be talking about that. So let's start. What is super scoring on the SAT and the ACT? Basically, super scoring is a practice whereby a college will look at your highest scores from each section, even if they happened on different test dates. Okay. And they will actually, for their, purposes in admission, they will look at your best. Let's give an example. Let's say you took the SAT 3 different times. You took it in December, March, and June. Okay. So in December, you got a 730 in the math, but your reading writing was like a 470. Pretty sucky. Okay. And for the sake of this, I'm just going to call it verbal. So that combined score, right? What is that? 1200. That was not high enough for you to really like open the door to like the colleges you want to apply to. So you take it again, right? So you take the exam in March. Now this time, oh my gosh, you have been studying all the grammar rules. You have been doing all of the like reading strategies, claims question strategies. You've been doing all the stuff and you killed it in verbal, right? You got a 680 in the reading writing, but you were so focused on verbal, you like forgot all your math. I don't really know how that's possible, but it happens. And so your math score declined. It had been a 730. Now it's a 690. You take the test in June because you're like, hey, maybe I can get, a high enough score on that one. And it's better than all of the stuff I've done. But you were so stressed out with like AP exams that you had in May and like finals and final projects and then like final performances and tournaments and whatnot that both your math and your reading writing were like mid 600s. Whoops. So at first, you might be like, oh my gosh, I've taken this test 3 times. I still don't have the score I need. However, with super scoring, the game is totally changed. Okay. So with super scoring, if your college allows for it, right? That's the big if. The only reading, writing, and the only math that they are going to consider will be the highest ones. So in your case, right, you would get that 680 from the reading writing that you did in the March test. And then you would get that 730 that you did in the December test, right, for math. And so together that's 1410. And hey, what do you know? If 1400 was like the threshold, now you met the threshold of like that kind of nice target score range that we want to open the door to your dream school. So in super score speak, we would say you super scored to a 1410. So that is SAT super scoring. Now, can you super score for the ACT as well? This is a very common question. So in some cases, yes. So here's the nuance. The ACT and the College Board, those are the actual companies that own the ACT test and the SAT. They're not the ones who get to determine if you can super score. It's the individual colleges, okay, that you're applying to. So each school on your college list will determine whether they super score for the SAT, for the ACT, both, or neither. Okay. So the SAT is historically more frequently super scored than the ACT is. There are some schools that will super score the SAT and then not super score for the ACT, but generally speaking, more and more colleges these days are super scoring for both. Okay. The other bit of good news that we have concerning ACT super scoring is for the past few years, the ACT has actually offered what they call a super score report. So They basically include all your past ACT scores that have your highest English, your highest math, your highest reading, your highest science. And they kind of calculate your composite super score on the front page of it. And they kind of do the legwork for you or for the college, which is good because there's a small little nuance where certain colleges will say, yes, we consider the highest section score across test dates. That's like lingo for we super score. But sometimes they'll say that they don't then recalculate your composite score. What do I mean? So that we call that a weekend ACT super score or a week super scoring for the ACT. And that is, hey, you really did. Your highest English was a 32, your highest math was a 30, your highest reading was a 34, your highest science was a 28. But they're not going to do that final step of adding up the 4 and dividing by 4 and actually calculating the average or your composite. Some schools will. So again, it's all in the fine text. So hi there. Again, my name is Kristina of Ivy Lounge Test Prep. And again, I've been helping students all over the globe for a decade and a half get into their dream schools by dramatically raising their SAT and ACT test scores. And right now, I have a question for you. And that is, have you taken whatever test it is that you were going to take, the SAT or ACT? Have you taken it more than once? Do you plan on super scoring? Or do you have colleges on your list that do or don't allow you to super score? Just like, let me know what you know about this, or if you have any specific questions about it, or you're like, yes, I'm planning to super score, all my colleges do, or no, I have to get my score on like one shot because my colleges do not super score. Let me know in the comments. I want to know. I'm curious. And while you're at it, just go ahead, like this video and also subscribe to my channel. And then that way, every week when I drop a video about SAT, ACT, or college application strategies or updates, you'll be the first to know. So you might be wondering like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like this whole super scoring thing, it totally takes the pressure off. Okay, we have to talk about something. We have to talk about why do schools super score for the ACT and the SAT? Okay, so I know you don't want to hear this because I just told you like this amazing news that I probably made your standardized testing dreams come true by talking about how you don't actually have to get the score you need in one shot. You can like take it over multiple test dates if your college allows. But this isn't like totally an altruistic thing for the colleges that you're applying to. Let me share what I mean. If a college is permitting you to take multiple SATs or take multiple ACTs and then weld the highest section scores together to make this illustrious super score, well, isn't the whole point that this score is higher than what you would have gotten on like a single sitting? Like, yeah, right. That's the whole point, is that you can take various highs and cobble them together and get this higher score. But doesn't it do that for all the other people applying to your dream school too? Right? So doesn't this just like make everyone score higher? So think about this. So what this does is the school you're applying to, everyone is getting to super score, not just you. So now the average SAT score, the average ACT score for this school is now higher than it was. And guess what happens when it has like a higher range? Like, so if the 25th to 75th percentile SAT score range of your dream school is a 1480 to a 1560, but it's super scored, that's, now that's pretty high. That's pretty competitive. So that's going to make the school look really impressive, right? Which means more applications, more application dollars. They get their pick of students. They get a lot out of this too. So this is not completely altruistic. So which colleges super score the SAT and the ACT? Well, this is the thing. It's up to each individual college, so you're going to have to figure it out. Now, I have a couple websites that would help. So you can go to collegeboard.org, you can go to collegedata.com, or the best thing to do is to go to the actual college or university you want to apply to, like on your list, and literally like Google standardized testing requirements. in the fine print, they will tell you if they superscore or if they don't, or if they say something along the lines of, we take the highest section score across test dates, that means superscoring, right? Basically, the individual school's website will tell you, but also collegeboard.org will tell you, and collegedata.com will tell you. And if you click on the Apply tab on a college's website, it might be there too. So now let's talk about some updates because, as you may know, the ACT is in the process of changing its format. Some people just took the very first new format of the ACT by taking it online. And we currently have some people who are still doing the paper and pencil version. And then in September of 2025, those people will finally do the new version of the ACT. So you might be wondering, like, can you superscore between the two? The answer is yes, but here's how it goes. So the ACT's Superscore report right now, and it doesn't matter if you do the online test, it's only the English, the math, the reading that are required, that makes your composite, and then science is separate. Or the current version, the way we've known it for decades, is English, math, reading, science, all four of those get averaged, and then that's your composite, right? So even if you took one of the new ones and one of the old ones, or, whatever, current, new, right? It would superscore across types. Now, the Superscore report itself will include all four if you get that report before September of 2025. So right now, it's April, right, of 2025. If I had taken both types of ACT and I, get my Superscore report right now, then it will superscore between, it'll do the four sections. My best English, regardless of if English was the new test or the old test, best math, best reading, and science. And it will take those four and it'll make a superscore out of those four being averaged for the composite. Starting September of 2025, you can again superscore between the two types, but the Superscore report itself will have your Superscore be the average of only English, math, and reading, and then science is just like a separate score. So that's what's up with the evolving ACT format. So now, how does superscoring affect you? Okay. At the end of the day, if a college superscores, then it does take the pressure off of having to get every section be the best all at the same time in a single test sitting, right? But then there's another side to this coin. If you only take the test one time, you have nothing to superscore with. So this practice means that you're kind of at a disadvantage unless you take the test like 2, 3, 4+ times, right? And believe me, a bunch of other students are. So I would say if you honestly, you take the test once and you hit it out of the park, it's the best you've ever done in all the sections and the best, composite or total score you've ever gotten. It surpasses what you need to apply to all of your schools. You might be done. Okay. But if you're like, this is pretty good, I would just probably do it again because any variation in any of your section scores will mean a higher super score. And then that will benefit you just like it's going to benefit all the other tens or hundreds of thousands of students applying to your same dream school. Also remember that when, as we mentioned, a college allows for super scoring, that means that its median SAT and ACT scores will be higher. So you want to be competitive too. So this is another reason, unless you literally get I had a student once, he got a 35 on the first time on the ACT. It was higher than we even had planned for. It was better than he had ever done in practice. Yeah, he's done. He doesn't need to do it again, right? If that's not you, if you're this is par for the course, but I could be better, take it again. And also at the end of the day, though, the pros and the cons of the super scoring, right? Higher median scores, but at the same time, you get to have a higher score too. It ultimately doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what the specific colleges on your college list think and what their policies are. Okay. So all of this, if you know it, it will help you put your very best foot forward when it comes to testing. So that, my friends, is what's up with super scoring. Now you're probably wondering, well, geez, if I just took this test, this SAT, this ACT, 3 times, right? And I bombed on one, oh no, will that look badly on my application? Will that be terrible when I go to apply to a school? So I have a special video that you need to watch, and it's everything you need to know about score choice. So check it out in the link.